I'm showing you what's eating the UK government budget. Why is the UK government becoming bigger and bigger and bigger? Now, what this is showing is the total, so over here, total managed expenditure of the government as a percentage of GDP, right? As a percentage of GDP. So focusing on this, in 1990, 35% of the economic activity of the UK was generated by the government through, the government expenditure. Now we're sitting at 46%, 2023, 2024. That's how much we've increased. The government has become bigger and bigger and bigger, that now it constitutes 46% of the UK economy. It's from the government itself. Now I want to see why that's happened. Where's that increase of about 10% coming from? And by the way, this is only going to increase because we have to spend more and more on the healthcare, on benefits, on pension, on all those different things. So the public sector net investment is how much we're investing in infrastructure. That was 1% in 1990. Now it's gone up 2.9%. So a lot of it is being investing in the infrastructure, which is crumbling all around us, really. Social security has gone from 8.6% to 11.3%. Social security is what we're giving to pensioners and to non-pensioners. So that is benefits to, child benefits, unemployment benefits, disability benefits. But the biggest increase I've seen is actually the healthcare, which right now it's about around 11%. So it's increased from 4% of GDP to 11% of GDP. And this is to do with the aging population. Nearly 1 in 5 people in the UK are age 65 and over. And so they require more healthcare services and healthcare help. What that means is that we have less to spend on other things, such as education has become steady, from 4.1% to 4.2%. Even though I think that should definitely increase because we need to change the whole education system to focus around this new technology that's coming in that's going to change all our jobs. Defense has gone down. Public order and safety has stayed the same at 1.7%. Transport has slightly increased, 1.2% in 1990 to 1.7%. Housing community amenities decreased slightly. Overseas aid, this is an interesting one. So right now we're about 0.5%. This is not showing this right here, but it's about 0.5%, and it's going to go down to around 0.3%. So there are plans by 2027 to reduce this to 0.3%. Now, how much we're spending on foreign aid is about 14 billion pounds. And some of that money goes to, because there's a lot of suggestions to remove foreign aid completely, but some of that money actually goes to the UN, to the World Bank, to schemes that eradicate diseases, which actually end up impacting the UK because we don't want the diseases to spread all around the world and impact the UK, to end poverty. But also, which I didn't know actually before, it actually goes to the first year costs of asylum seekers and refugees in the UK. So all this talk about, the hotels, which needs to actually be fixed because it's crazy that the UK government is spending money on hotels to house asylum seekers and refugees. It's not very economic. There needs to be other ways to do this. But all that money that we spend on the first year costs of asylum seekers and refugee costs, all comes from this overseas aid budget. What that means is actually, it's not that the budget is increasing, but the cost of the asylum seekers and refugees in the UK is eating up from that budget, which means there's less money going to, ending poverty and eliminating diseases around the world. Now, the other interesting one is the interest over here, which has gone from 3.1% of GDP to 5.1% of GDP. That is how much we're spending just on servicing the debt, just on actually managing the amount of debt that we have. And that's going to continue to increase if we do anything that makes the market think that we are a riskier country. And we do that by either spending more than not matching it with tax, or reducing taxes, but not reducing expenditure. So the bigger the gap, the deficit is, which right now is 140 billion pounds a year, the more the risk there is associated with the UK, and therefore the higher interest rate that lenders will require from the UK government, which would eat up into the UK budget more and more. And this can really spiral where the government used to start to borrow money just to pay the interest that it owes to other countries. And when you get to that situation, you're in big trouble because it doesn't end. You just have to borrow more and more to service the debt, to pay the interest, and there's higher interest charge because they know you're doing that, and so it leads to bankruptcy essentially. It's like basically you're getting a credit card to pay the interest of your other credit card, which is just increasing really. It's just a short-term solution with long-term negative consequences. So as you can see, this is what's happening. So why do we have a bigger government? Well, because there's more expenditure on interest. There is more expenditure on the NHS because of a working age population. There's more social security expenditure. And there's actually more now expenditure on infrastructure, which is this public sector net investment, because everything's crumbling around us. And that's how the money has to be spent. But the biggest increase we've seen has actually come from the NHS. We're seeing huge, more than double expenditure what we used to spend in the 1990s.